and welcome to this video about code generator. How many of us have a dream to have a project that is maintainable forever, always up to date with the latest technology, and where no one has to cope with the crude stuff, the simple things that we always do, the mappers and so on, and want to focus on added value all the time. And this is where Code Generator, particularly GHipster, shines, and I will show you how combining the generated approach, which for sure accelerates your journey, and your custom code, where you will be able to focus on the added value that you bring to your customer. I'm Charlie, design authority in a large group. We are using GHipster since 6 years ago, approximately. I've been a core contributor since the very beginning of the project. And I will show you one of the best practices that unfortunately the community didn't communicate that much on this approach. So first, as you may know, GHipster is based on a syntax, a specific domain-specific language, DSL, which is called the GDL. You also have a CLI if you prefer, but me, I'm a big fan of this syntax. You have a website that is called ghipster.tech, where you can design your GDL with some very nice feature. GHipster Online is available at start.ghipster.tech. The example I will show you is hosted on GitHub. You can find it on this address. It's not part of the community yet. Still, it's on a repo that will stay here forever. So within the GDL, in order to be able to combine your custom code plus the generated code, you will have to think about a few things. First, configure the package name to be something that you will know afterwards that it has been generated. For example, I use the .gen suffix, which will tell me that everything that is in this package has been generated. You can do the same for client side, which is using the client rule folder option in order to have all the entities generated in a specific folder on front-end side. One thing that I also advise is to use the service imp option so that we will be able to extend the generated code way more easily than with the default, which is a service class, if I remember well. Also, I definitely enjoy the DTO approach. Why? Because it avoids lazy loading exception and this kind of stuff when not set. Then, as always, just implement your entity with the different fields and the relationship between the entities. Not that much, let's say, to say about it. After that, what you will do is for sure to generate your code using that GHipster command, and then you will have a project that will look like the one that you see in my project file. Here, as you see, GHipster is doing a lot for you, and with the GHipster upgrade command, you will be able to sync up very regularly your project with the best practice that are in the market. There are 3 Java champions maintaining the project and let's say skilled people behind that community. So you can trust them that they have followed the best practices in terms of security, with Spring Security and OAuth, with the, let's say, communication mean, with the network optimization, and so on and so forth. So that you won't have to focus on the plumbery and just focus on your feature and the value you bring to your customer. Once you have configured your project, then what you can do is to configure your IDE in order to speed up your delivery. I have made few configuration in order to benefit from the overall feature that GHipster gives me. First, I use Cypress. Cypress is an end-to-end framework. It let me test that the front end is always correct and the feature that I bring to my end user are really there. Then it generates, let's say, a lot of Docker Compose files, so that from my IDE, I can start and stop every service all the time. On the front-end side, I also have some unit tests that are made with Jest, which is a very nice framework and very fast one. On the backend side, this time, JUnit is used in order to be able to make some integration tests with test containers. So at every test, a container is spin up with the database. The dataset is fulfilled with Faker, and then some API tests are made in order to ensure that everything is correct. NPM also has been configured in order to have auto-refresh whenever I change any front-end file. And on the backend side, same approach with the Spring Boot let's say, launch configuration, which will update the backend every time I compile, so I can live code and see the result in a second. I also configure the JavaScript debug configuration. This one is definitely a cool one because I can put breakpoint on my front end and my IDE will stop whenever the user is interacting in a way that triggers this breakpoint, right? So here at this stage, when I start the backend and the front end, I have a working sample that let me sign in, use the Docker Compose keycloak that has been installed, and also the Postgres database that I start as a container. And here, as you see, I can, let's say, interact with the CRUD stuff. Usually, coding this kind of CRUD stuff is not interesting at all for the developer. It's a boring task, and here GHipster did everything for me in one click, which is really cool and definitely accelerated my journey. Once I have everything set up and running, I can focus on the added value that I will bring to the business. So here, the approach will be to try to minimize the overriding of any generated class and implementing things that either extend or compose what has been generated in order to bring what I want to bring to my customers. So here, let's first speak about the simplest approach. It's the composition. So you see on the generated side, we had the concept of country plus employee. And here, let's say that I want to avoid having two CRUD endpoints, the employee and department. I just want to have one endpoint that returns the employee and its department all along. So here, easy way, I will implement a package that is not in the Gen 1 because it's a custom one. And here I will just, let's say, implement my stuff, my interface, my implementation that injects the generated services, and then here I will just compose the service all together, the call, in order to return what I want to return. Same approach for commands, for sure, it will also work. I will also implement my web service. Here I use the /API/v1 in order to be sure that the endpoint is versioned. And also on the, let's say, testing side, I will be able to differentiate what has been generated and what has been custom code, because the generated, let's say, code does not include that v1. For sure, Spring Boot won't take this new package, which is outside the Gen 1, into consideration since I do not modify a bit the generated code. Here, in the application side, I will add this annotation in order to tell to Spring that it should scan the generated package, of course, but also my custom package. At this point, if I regenerate the code on top of it, it will for sure erase that class and get rid of that component scan package. So now I will have to tell to the gHipster framework to skip during the generation this particular file so that I will be able to re-import again and again the project without bothering of, let's say, reintroducing my customization. It's quite easy to achieve. There is a, let's say, a hidden file to do that, which is the .io-resolve file. And here we just specify using the, let's say, the relative, let's say, path of the file and the behavior of the gHipster framework in regards to this file. So here I just say that this app should be skipped. Yeah, so now I'm pretty sure that everything will be taken into account and I can test the call to my employee with department. So let's call it. For sure I have to authenticate using OAuth, which is usually not that simple to implement, right? But here everything is free, everything is correct, the security is here, and I was able to call my specific endpoint. The second approach will be to, let's say, extend the class that has been generated. So here, same approach in a separate package that is not the Gen 1. What I can do is to create an interface that extends the generated one and that contains my custom method. Here, in the implementation service, what I will do is to annotate that class with @primary, which will tell to Spring that this implementation is the one that should be taken compared to the other, which is the other implementation, of course. And here, same approach, I will inject, let's say, generated services, and also maybe one custom service that answers to my problematic. Here, for example, I wanted to query the second employee, so I extend the generated employee repository, and then I create an internal class that contains my, let's say, really custom query. And then for sure I will, let's say, use the mapper in order to transform the result of my custom repository into a DTO. I will also inject my extension into the controller. So that here I will be able to get the second employee, which is something that, of course, Gipster does not implement at all. Let's try it. And here you see I have my second employee, which is Yuna. Okay, so now that we have seen what we can do on the backend side, we can apply the exact same approach on the front-end side. So on the front-end side, some very interesting files to focus on are the route one. By default, the route is for sure pointing to the Gipster, let's say default, for example, home page. Here, I just have to modify this route in order to have Angular to redirect to my custom home page. So that here, for sure, this is my custom home page that will be taken into account. Let's see that. You see, customized. And here, of course, this is the result of my customization. There are some other thing that you can do is also to restrict let's say the menu that are usually dedicated to admin, to restrict them to an admin profile. For sure, your user will kind of never use these, let's say, forms. Still, it can be useful for the functional administrator in order to, let's say, fix some data that are not that correct during the life cycle of the project. So that's it. As you have seen, and yeah, skip the route. As you have seen, we can combine generated code, which will let us gain a lot of time and also maintain during, let's say, the long term, the technology, because Gipster is in charge of the overall plumbery. Who ever dream to keep being on the latest Java version? Who expected to have, I don't know, maybe ES build to be updated compared to the old Webpack, and so on and so forth all the time. Here, I just have to Gipster upgrade, and this new technology are introduced within my project without me to focus on this kind of, let's say, difficult migration. And also, I am able to, let's say, extend, to benefit from what has been generated and extend the project in order to, let's say, to provide the feature that are expected by my customer. No customer is using CRUD only. For sure, I will have to customize my code in order to bring what they expect. And here you have the best of both worlds. You have generated stuff that are simple, all the cumbersome stuff are made for me, and then I can use any AI client on my, let's say, custom side in order to accelerate my journey. I hope that this video, I hope that you learned something during this video, and see you in a short time for some other tips and tricks around Gipster and other kind of, let's say, good technologies.